Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, guys. This is Ahmed Hamdi, and this is Khatere channel on YouTube. Actually, this is the first time I'm making a video in English. I have used to record my videos in the Arabic language. That's because mainly my followers are from Egypt and other Arabian countries. But today I wanted to record in English to let the whole world know about this Linux distribution I'm using right now, and it's basically a Chinese Linux distribution that is built upon Ubuntu 14.04. This distribution is very smooth, it's very efficient, and it's very beautiful. The first time I got to know it was from YouTube. Another guy was making a review of it, so I've decided to try it, and this is the final result. This is the most advanced and most beautiful Linux operating system I've ever used in my life, and believe me, I've used a lot. I've used Ubuntu, Fedora, OpenSUSE, you name it, any other derivative of Ubuntu or Debian. I've used it, and today I've come to terms with this specific Linux distribution, which is called Deepin. Deepin is, like we said, the Chinese Linux distribution that is built to make the Linux use cases more enjoyable. Okay, so here's the desktop. When you open your operating system for the first time, you find a dock below, you find icons up there, and voila, this is the desktop. So let's take it step by step. First, I'm gonna talk you into the basic stuff. We got the launcher here at the very left of the dock. We can trigger it by either clicking on it like this. It's a beautiful launcher, just like Macs. Okay, just like the launchpad on the Mac, or we could just hit the super key on your keyboard, and it's gonna open it as well. You can just simply search for a specific program like Kazam, for example, or Firefox, and it's gonna show it if it's the only result, as in this case, like Firefox. You could just hit enter, and it will open immediately. You don't have to select it or anything like that. So that's the first thing about the launcher. It's very smooth, it's very efficient, and it's quite beautiful. Another thing about it is this is like a new program. You have a blue dot beside every program that you have just installed, and you didn't open it yet. You haven't opened it yet, so it makes sense basically. Another great thing about this distribution is you can just drag and drop icons like this, and it will, just like iOS and smartphones, it will create a folder automatically on the desktop, and it will also categorize that folder and give it a name. In this case, I've just put the Deepin music with the Deepin movie, so it named it a multimedia folder. Another great thing about this distribution is that the developers, who are 30 developers, I guess, are writing specific apps for this Linux distribution, like the Deepin music. Or for example, let's just open the Deepin music. The Deepin music is a very beautiful music application with the skins, just like that. You can just put your own skin and play it. It's very smooth, it's very efficient. One thing that this distribution excels and Ubuntu doesn't have is that you can actually drag and drop to create to move a folder on this Deepin music application, and it's gonna play and it's gonna load the whole folder. You can drag and drop on Ubuntu or any other Linux distribution due to programming decision, all this kind of stuff, and I really hate that. I have used the Mac, and I really like the drag and drop theory. You could just drag and drop anything on anything basically, and it just works. So I'm glad that this option is here. And Deepin, they also have the Deepin Movie. The Deepin Movie is just a video player program which is pretty simplistic. It doesn't offer much controls, and it doesn't get into your way when you're watching or listening to another movie. Let's just open the file manager, which is Nautilus by default. It's basically the Ubuntu file explorer, but it's it's styled and all this kind of stuff. So let's just open this screencast, or not. Let's not open any screencast for now. Let's just try to find something like Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones. Yeah, Game of Thrones, and voila, you just open it, and here it is. It's pretty minimalistic. It's like the Mac experience, and I really like it a lot. So that was a Deepin Movie. They also get the Deepin Store, which is different from the Ubuntu Store. It's customizable. It includes the apps built specifically for this Linux distribution. They also got hot corners in this distribution. If, for example, I point my arrow in the upper left corner like this, it will launch the launcher. If I have, for example, a window open, let's say the file manager, and go to the like this lower left, it will show and hide windows. And also, if I have multiple windows, let's say I've opened the store like this, I can just make this bird view or bird's eye view, and it will automatically show. So yeah, we got hot corners. Another great thing about this distribution is that they built a control center which is basically identical or much superior to the Mac's notification center. So if I go and hover to the upper right corner, I get this beautiful, very efficient control center. In this control center, I've got everything I want. I've got user accounts, display, default applications, personalization, network sound, date and time, power management, mouse, keyboard and language, keyboard shortcuts, remote assistance, boot menu, and system information. This distribution actually allows me to edit boot menu configuration through a very easy to use applet and the notification center, and I get to use the text color which the distro will use when it boots up, the boot delay which I've set to 1 second, text color, default boot, and all this kind of stuff. And I can go back to the home. I can also go to personalization. For example, if I wanted to change the default wallpaper for any reason whatsoever, I can just choose what I want, and yeah, it's pretty basic and but in a very beautiful way. I also get to choose the cursors. I get to choose the icon set. One icon set that I really like on Linux is the compass icon set, but I prefer the Deepin. The Deepin, as you see, it's changed, and if I open the file manager, it's changed and everything. But the Deepin is much more superior, I think. I get to also change the window border and all this crazy stuff you can make, and also the fonts, which gives me pretty much all I need with the Linux distribution. I also can go to my user account, add users from there. I can edit my photo. I can create an auto login. I can change the password. I can do anything you can do from the settings. I also they have a very beautiful designed power button which I can just click, and it will give me this beautiful options to either shut down, restart, suspend, log, or log out. I can just hit escape to return back to what I was doing. So the launcher, the file manager, the Deepin Store, the Deepin Music, the Deepin Movie, also Google Chrome, which comes pre-installed with this distribution. So Yeah, it's very beautiful. This is a control center I just opened. It's not a program, it's just like a notification center. Any device you mount on Linux will be available here. You can eject it, you can do whatever you want. Here is the network, the strength, and all the information needed. Here's the sound. You can like raise a voice like this. You can like mute a specific program if it's running, but we're not having any programs that are running right now. This is something like workspace switcher. You just hit like for example this, and it will open the Deepin music. You can just click it to make it go away. This is the clock. It shows right here. It says 6:28 a.m. Egypt's time, Cairo's time, and when you hover over it, you get this beautiful applet, which is basically a calendar for you, but it's pretty smooth and pretty minimalistic. This is a trash. You can just right click on it and empty it if any files are in the trash. We forgot the Deepin terminal. We didn't forget about it. Actually, I've left it intentionally till the end. It's a very beautiful terminal. It's very minimalistic and it's very efficient. It has a very wide range of preferences which you can access. If we're gonna say print working directory or anything like that, it works, and it has beautiful colors. Let's just check for the Ruby version installed or the Python version installed. Yeah, so it's basically Python 3. Okay, so this is basically the distribution I've come to terms with, and I use it every day, and I love it very much. I'm very satisfied with it. The Chinese really did a great job bringing all these pieces together. Actually, the notification center is built with using HTML5 and CSS. It's not built using complicated C and C or C++ stuff, which means it's very customizable, it's easy to use, but it also means that it might show a little bit of lag on older hardware. So far, if we open just like the monitor, system monitor, we can see for ourselves the resources here. We're not using much of the memory. This device has been up for like 36 hours, and it's running Chrome, it's running the Kazam caster, which I'm recording on right now, and it's only like 25% of my RAM. The swap, of course, is 0%, and the CPU load is not that high, considering that I'm doing hard jobs on this session right now. One thing that I forgot to tell you about though is that we can actually customize the dock down there to make it look like for example Windows or anything like that. If you right click on the dock, you're gonna see like it's right now in the fashion mode. You can actually change it to efficient mode. By clicking on efficient mode, it's immediately changed it, and it gives you Windows 10 like taskbar. If you right click and make it the classic mode, it gives you something like for example let's say Windows XP or something like that. It's just like that. It's rectangular in shape. So yeah, you can actually do pretty much the basic stuff you do with everyday Linux operating system. You can customize it however you like. It's actually my favorite. I've left Mac OS OS 10 Yosemite for it, and when El Capitan was released, I really didn't notice a difference at all in terms of my work or what I need. So I just stick with this Linux distribution. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you give it a shot. If this video introduced something new to you, you can always follow me on my Facebook. It's facebook.com/ahmedh7a7madh7, or you can just open my YouTube channel, which is خاطره. Let me just open it for you. So youtube.com/خاطره obj. Yeah, and I've got all sorts of stuff around here, but unfortunately it's only in Arabic. So I'm gonna be posting videos in English about programming, computer, pharmacy, because I'm a pharmacist as well. Hope you enjoy what I have been doing today, and peace, guys.